Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is uh,
Yes,
this is Astha, and
Debbie.
we both are mother-in-law and daughter-in-law duo, very unique and from different parts of the world. Another unique thing. I'm from India and my mother-in-law is American. So we love to discuss our similarities and differences because we are both very cerebral and we love to talk about things. And so one of the things that was on our mind that we think that you all could also relate with and let us know how this resonate with you is the concept of aging. See, as women, aging is a very scary thing that is presented to us from even when we go from younger age to slightly older ages. Even then, it is like you have at least in India, it's like after 25, if you're not married, it becomes like a big thing for everybody else in the relatives and everyone that oh, you do not have anyone to be with, or who will you
Mm,
spend rest of your life with? Like, even if the person is financially and physically capable of taking care of themselves and emotionally also, still people put it as like one of the tick marks on life that you should be getting married also by the age you are 25, because otherwise you're doing something wrong. And that's when people sometimes get into arranged marriages also, which are not all arranged marriages go bad, but some of them which happen on mere basis of I need somebody to get married to since I'm marriageable age. At that age, if somebody gets married to somebody wrong person, then it becomes bigger mess. I literally
mm,
have friends who are going through such scenarios that because they were 32, 33, they just picked the most available partner at that time to get married to, and now they after a few years they are finding themselves in a soup that this is not so compatible, or this is not the best thing, that the outcome is not the best. So I feel that in India,
mm,
like for my age, the problem the associated with aging is that
mm,
expectations are there that you should be married to by a certain age, having kids by a certain age, settled by but then, as you and I were discussing, there is a part of life where the whole thing culminates. It doesn't matter if you were married, it doesn't matter what you have done, but it comes to a place where you are starting to become old, like in a way that you become childlike again, though it is old
mm,
age, but your brain is very uh, emotional. You cannot handle much
mm,
information. Life becomes slower. So that is also a stage. So, and which is handled very differently in both the countries. So before we
mm.
jump into that, what is your idea about aging for now? Like, where are you at?
Yeah,
Hmm.
for me personally, yeah. So, it's it's been on my heart and mind lately because of at this point in my story, taking care of my parents and my in-laws has become a real thing because the age is like 85, 90.
Mm,
It's and it's been making me realize the issue of actually I was hearing it when you were talking too, that's it's more of a mindset of dependency or independence.
mm,
So at a young age, the idea I want to be married with children means I have to enter into a interdependent relationship or a dependent
mm.
relationship with another, and a pressure around that is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm,
and it feels like it's an age thing, because in this maybe society or culture has said within this age range, you need to meet your partner,
mm.
or you feel like you're more marketable at a certain age, right?
Right.
And when you're older, it's like, how long can I maintain my independence before I have to be dependent? So people get up in fear again because of the pressure of when will I lose my independence and when do I, and what will happen if I become dependent, and kind of fighting the independent dependent space. So it's interesting because in our cultures, I would say
Hmm.
more independence exists for younger to stay single, as an example. I'm independent financially as a woman. I may or may not choose to marry. I may just have children without getting married. I may have multiple relationships. People have all sorts of feelings of independence in that story here in America currently, I say. But with aging, because of the way that we look at independence, I'm going to stay fiercely independent. I don't want the burden of my aging parents on me.
Hmm.
So we set up in institutions or systems where parents can be taken care of by someone else.
Hmm.
So that to me is this current of independent living in America. I am, the encouragement of being independent of another
Hmm.
versus a dependence on a partner for a marriage, a family structure, a multi-generational support system. Um, so it's interesting how I think it can be fueled by different
Yeah. See,
mentality or.
while in India there is a tradition of taking care of your parents, it is depleting now, at least from the
Yeah.
urban areas, because I think more than tradition or culture, it's about the kind of world that we live in now. Like,
Mm,
earlier the mm, family, there were family business. People had more, uh, I don't know, there was much more respect for older generation in past generations. Now it feels
yeah.
like they have also worked a job and we are also working a job. So it doesn't feel like a lot of like they have earned some wisdom or they are actually old and wise. I feel people don't see that anymore in their older people, and that is why even in India, the institution of having old age homes or people
Oh.
just taking care of themselves via nurses or like, getting some kind of help in that
Mm,
sense, that is becoming more popular. But still, uh, there is an obligation on Indian kids to take care of their parents once they start getting older, which I think in America there is freedom of thought in a different level. Like you are not even supposed to, uh, you know, as you said, like there is no pressure of age, even to the concepts like marriage. If so, that freedom is there. And actually, Indian people, when they travel to America, a lot of them, when they, one of the best things they say about American people is that they're older people are very fit. They are
mm,
not dependent. They are not like waiting for one of their kids to come and take care of them. They fetch for themselves in a way that they pre-plan that this is our old
mm,
age is going to look like this. The whole culmination process is not seen as something that I will go dependent on my kids, but more as, okay, I'll retire from life in this design. So there is much more thought going into how people design their old age rather than seeing it as somebody else's responsibility, which is freeing for, I think, both the generations. Because, yeah, this
mm-hmm.
is a lot of NRIs say this, a lot of even content is made on such things that I was seeing this content, particular reel itself, that she was cycling with her mother-in-law, Indian girl, like same our
Mm,
scenario. She's cycling with her mother-in-law, and she was saying that I couldn't have imagined this if she was like my mother-in-law was Indian. And while it can happen, an Indian older person can also cycle, but it's not more common. It's not like
mm,
uh, a lifestyle. So in that sense, for from
Mm,
Indian point of view, it looks more freeing actually. That
mm,
um, you do not have to take care of your parents till like they for everything. Everything meaning everything. You
huh,
have to attend to their every or what time they get their food, medicine, everything. You have to be available for that.
mm.
An expectation not being there will make people feel free about themselves so much, I feel.
I agree. I
Mm,
think, yeah, I think it provides options. Like you said,
mm,
maybe the best of someone's heart isn't free to be available when there's no other choice.
mm,
That force, it feels like force. Even if you
yeah,
would choose to care for your parents,
mm,
as an example, if you have to, that's
mm,
different. And maybe having a nice balance, like you were saying, your parents are different in their thinking because they're more modern or forward thinking about taking care of their own lives. So they planned for that, which is very, we'll say, typical American
mm,
plan. So if I, as a 58-year-old woman, am planning for to always be providing for my own self, I not only am saving money or I'm partnering with someone who has saved money and is thinking along those lines of how do we build a homestead that we is paid for? How do I surround myself with enough resources to
mm,
carry us? And I want to be healthy. I want to be in good shape. So maybe that more active lifestyle
mm,
also is there because if I'm going to live to be older, I want to be able to have a good body,
mm,
have good mind. So I'm going to keep myself active, maybe creating new business for myself that's more fun, not just completely not
mm.
engaging with life at some point. So there's multiple things that maybe go along with that also, so that when the time comes, if it makes sense that my family member needs to come live with me, then we can both decide that. In fact, the offer might be that if I do come live with you, also I want to provide my money to the family system then
Mm.
to benefit everybody. There's more
See,
resources that we've each
mm.
gathered, to
I
share.
feel this is where, in India, you what I observe, the paradox is like how, what you just said. If you come and live with me, you would want to provide in a certain way. That
Mm.
given exchange, m- even mentioning of the given exchange in India is seen as something offensive. Like,
Ah.
yeah, uh, even for kids, to like kids will stay with their parents till the age of 30 also sometime, very rare cases,
Mm.
very rare cases. There's no push from the parents sometimes if the parents are overprotective, and they won't even demand the kid to provide. So
Mm.
so like the
Okay.
whole, but I feel that comes from very past India, because in past very like if I rewind a bit before the
Mm.
before India was like the third world country, no, when India was actually abundant, the idea of abundance in older times was related with that the abundance stays in the family, meaning
Mm.
that the grandparent who is rich is rich because their grandparents have also been working on certain craft, certain way that they were contributing to the uh, community, certain land that they were holding, or however, there was a flow of knowledge. If somebody was older, they were also wiser. They had ideas how uh, there is literally a community of Vaishyas in India who grow up and most Indian entrepreneurs or business people come from this community because as the kid
Mm.
is growing up, the whole everybody in the house talks about the profit or the loss, and they talk that language of business and how to save more, how to expand it, how to grow. So there is certain wisdom that's running in the family. So the son knows that my father is wise. The son knows that if I the grandson knows that if I want to run my business better than my father, my grandfather can give me some advice. So instead of the
Mm,
money exchange, the exchange was more mm, experiential. That experientially
mhm,
you have established your empire in a certain way that you are providing to the next generation, but it's not necessarily like money. But what fast forward to today's world where everyone is working jobs, the grandson is working job, the grandfather has worked job, and even the father is working a job. There is nothing substantial that they can give to the next generation. What will they teach? The models of working job is changing every generation. So
mm,
then Indians also have to adapt to understanding that don't take offense but in providence with money. Rather, that is the only, um, abundance, like that shiny coin is the, that mascot of abundance in today's world. So yeah, I
mhm,
think India is also adapting to that now, because earlier it was easy for people to mm, keep the family together, work in community, that all ages live under one roof because all ages work on similar goals. Now everybody has different goals. Individualism
mm,
has spread everyone so thin, and of course, in your country, it's even more defined. Individualism is more fiercely protected. How you were saying that if you
mhm,
want to have children, you can just co-parent it with a person who you think is good enough to be the parent of your child. You don't have to necessarily marry them. That kind of like spreading thing of individualism, which for an Indian person would be like a shock. If even if some of the Indians are doing it, they wouldn't be doing it openly, societally. India is
mm,
like socially, it will be looked down upon. So
mm,
yeah, that is definitely the difference in how age or expectations socially are handled from different age.
mm,
Because both my parents gave their life to taking care of their parents, their mothers. Their father passed away early on, but their mothers, they gave their life to take care of them because they grew up with the understanding that that is what they're supposed to do. And their mothers are supposed to be dependent on them. Where will they go? That's the kind of idea. Like, where will the
mm,
parents go? There is, uh, hmm, and also, like, India has a long history of poverty also. So there was no like organized old age houses that, you know, can be used. It was survival for long, right?
mm. Is it typical that an aging grandparent in the family or parent, you know, um, who would have their own home, would it be more typical for someone to go care for them in their own home or bring them into the
That's what I'm
family
saying.
home?
Kids are not going out of their houses. They are getting
Ah,
married and bringing their bride in the house that their parents are living in.
yeah. Hmm.
So if somebody makes their own house, I think it's a personal choice that they bring their parents into the new house and go and take care of in the old house. But if a lot of the times the whatever like the joint family concept, the traditional style is that
Hmm.
that the woman goes and takes care of the guy's parents, which a lot of women debate now. They are like, I'm okay marrying you, but why should I prioritize your parents over mine? My parents also have same needs. The traditional idea is that her brother will take care of
Hmm.
those parents. But what if she does not have a brother? So,
Hmm.
there's a lot of debate around these topics in the Indian diaspora. So,
Hmm.
diaspora, I've never used that word before.
I've heard that word a few times.
That's how NRIs talk about themselves. I am not one.
What is your personal preference?
Mhm.
Where's your heart at with it when you think of the way of your trajectory in terms of family life and living
Mm.
situation, or like if you could have your dream for
I
yourself, for
feel that humans need to come to the consciousness of what aging actually is. Aging is the culmination of your whole entire life. So it's better
Mhm,
that you build a nest for yourself and hibernate in it when the time is there. Why you need to depend on anybody else to
mhm,
come and attend to you? It's not like you go and do a lot of physical work, but don't at least have expectations and greed at that age. Our heart needs to learn to give up on desires as we age, I feel, you know.
mhm,
And while you are growing up, while in your teens and your 20s, you must go and fulfill as many desires as you can. Not like not like don't be rational also, but fulfill as many as you can because life is a gift again. But when you and I feel that everyone must have their conscious process, their spiritual process, so that when the uh, even astrologically, why somebody blesses you that, oh, have a old age. In India, the most common blessing that you will receive from an elder is live long, live long. Why it is said so? Because if you have any spiritual process, it comes to its fruition with your age.
mhm,
After you have been on earth for long enough, your new powers start manifesting. You become a deeper person. It's like the tree grows roots deeper, you know.
mm,
And so it
beautiful.
becomes like much more strong. The why the old is wise, because not just because they have experiences, because they have spiritual process also come to a fruition, to
Mm,
a place of where they can
mm,
be more humble, more sharing. They can rise above the gender. They can rise above
mm,
money. They can rise above a lot of basic human understandings and share from a more profound space. And
mm,
that is why they bless you with a long age, so that you can actually flower into your spiritual process, your sadhana. So I feel everyone should have that process, and with age, it should mature you. It should give you results. If it is not giving you results, try something else. But as you age, it should give you result. It should give you peace, and it should give you more insight on life. You should be useful to others. I hope that when I'm old, I am more loving. Like you and I, we met this Bihari Baba, right? He's very old.
yeah, yeah.
But he literally, I've sat next to him. He sits on side of the road, and anyone who passes by, he just gives them smile, just gives them
Mhm,
smile. Whoever catches his love will come and take blessings from him. Then also he's just giving blessing. He don't need anything from you. So if life can be
mm,
that way, if life can become that beautiful, that every day is seen as gift by him, that you know because he's so deep into his sadhana, because he has given 70, 80 years of his life to sadhana. So that would be the goal, honestly.
mm. Yeah,
Mm,
so beautiful. I actually feel like, because that everything you just spoke was what I only discovered 10 years ago when I
mm,
followed my kids to the East and to all the wisdom and knowledge and the Vedic Sanatana Dharma life
mm,
style, and began learning so much about what you're talking about. That's why I love to chat. But and these truths, as you just said, that I felt that in contrast to American modern living over here, that the joy that people find with getting older and the happiness that they do or don't have seems to be as to how much they have planned for financially to be able to rest.
mm,
So more money, more property, more ease in retirement, and then they can travel the world. And that's their goal, is to spend the money in luxury.
mm,
and the time in luxury,
mm,
where when I heard about in the ancient ways that there's actually a time that once you've raised the kids and the obligation to your family life and your own personal investment in that, that the couple, the married couple, then becomes of service to the community, and then the
mm.
energy is poured
Yes.
not to each other, even into that relationship as priority or the relationship with children anymore, that it becomes
Mm,
a broader, bigger gift back to service the
mm,
community. And that all of that would only come as a flowering from spiritual and inner work versus financial focus, emphasis, my pleasure traveling, my pleasure
mm,
going to fine restaurants and spending all the money I saved. It's like a different end goal and a different source of happiness and a certain, and I feel like I enjoy the finer things. There's nothing to judge there, but there was always something more I was looking for. So my heart and my soul kind of felt quenched hearing that yes, yes, that's also something I desire. So once that was open up to me and to my inner space, I my goal is that I find so much joy in picturing and being with that Baba
mm,
on the side of the Ganga River, and the bliss that pours from this being tells you something that has never been told.
mm,
How could someone be in bliss with nothing? No one models that in modern
mm,
world. No celebrity is like, give up everything and sit. You
mm,
know, this is not me. This is not shown to us in America. When you walk through the streets of India and you encounter happiness
mm,
that appears to have nothing financial, it's
mm,
like
mm,
it really makes you question so
mm,
much. And when you look in the eyes of a being like that, or you see that smile, like you said, there's something there was something inside of me that was triggered to have to find the answer to that.
mm,
How do how does a being like this exist? And I don't know if everyone gets triggered like that, but I know when I brought my girlfriends with me to India, both of them encountered something that triggered that same piece
mm,
of them. So I am always like, I don't know what to say about my visits to places like India where we encounter beings that have a spiritual journey that they have embarked upon in a way we've never been taught, in
mm,
traditions we don't have quite the same way. I want to bring everyone there because I feel like when that gets opened up, it gives a whole nother path to life
mm.
for the aging.
Right.
It actually is a path of no fear. It's beauty that
Mm,
I can maybe still have a financial path that secures parts of the story for me in modern world. Like, yeah, sure, you need a place to be, maybe, especially if you have a family still or a husband or food you want to have. Okay, great. But to know that there's joy that can be found in through other paths or means or at the same time
mm,
helps my inside rest.
mm,
Like I actually know that if I am provided for in
mm,
financial way, I can see happiness. If I strip away the luxuries of life today, I know there's places to be that I could be extremely happy and blissful.
mm,
Maybe not the side of the road is my first thought, but ashram community type living is.
mm.
There are places you can create
Yeah.
or be a part of that have different levels of contribution, but certainly not the grind of high price tags like they can be when you think about settling in America.
I feel
It usually requires more, yeah.
mm, I feel the aging is very individualistic, like how your childhood is very individualistic. Like it's
Mm,
very close to like what is your relation with yourself. It
mm.
it kind
Interesting,
of
yeah.
you cannot hide it from the world anymore once you're a certain age, like how you feel in your heart or how you truly feel. You cannot hide that anymore. It starts to show. And so it
Mm,
becomes all the more important how integrated you are. It becomes like it can either become a bad test of if you have been unintegrated your whole life, then it can become like a tough test that now you have to prove your integrity while you have none. So you hide behind material, which is what humans
mm,
do in today's age. But if you have integrity in your being, you know who you are and you know how you can benefit others, bless others, or how you can be blissful within yourself, even besides the issues of body and mind that might come up.
mm,
Ignoring them, because I kind of saw that in my grandmother. Like both my grandmothers, they were in tune with this knowledge of getting old, because it kind of like, yeah, it runs in. I come from a Brahmin family also. The knowledge keepers, basically. That's the community.
mm,
So they both kind of had learned from they both showed me that you should be more graceful as you grow old. You should become more
mm,
graceful. You should become more blissful as you grow old. If a younger one comes and seeks refuge next to you for some time, they should feel uplifted. And that is why, and people will respect you in your old age because you can uplift them. You can make them feel like world can also produce happiness and leave you in a better state, right?
mm.
So yeah,
So this is what I want to bring. I mean that's I think it's interesting this topic because it just is stirring in my heart that the gift that encountering these teachings, the knowledge of what I've learned by connecting to India and the ancient way
Mm.
of living and lifestyle of even your family in modern times had rooted in traditional passing on of this we're calling today
Knowledge
aging
is
process.
liberation,
It
isn't it?
is.
Mm.
Yeah, it is.
From what
And then to
I
be able to witness it then just solidifies that it's real,
mm,
because we're told a lot. There's a
mm,
lot of knowledge floating around
mm.
today, but until it hits the heart as real and true, and so much of the truth is actually the truth that
Mm.
depends on where your source is coming from.
I think
But
this is also part of awakening with age, that first you think, oh my God, there is so much information slash knowledge in the world. But it's then there comes a point where you realize it's information, and knowledge is
yeah.
something, how you're saying, it hits the heart space, and it flowers,
Yeah.
wisdom flowers through you if you have touch knowledge.
Mm,
So yeah, to even discover that the subtle ways of life, I think, is the real fruit of aging. How I.
mm, mm.
So, any last words?
Um, my last words are just the joy of reconnecting to my mother-in-law and spending intentional time with her has increased. And it's only just been a real blessing to be able to witness that and pour into her and to also be aware of my own aging and how I want to just continue to grow in wisdom and bliss uh, and self-sufficiency and contribution, all of it.
Mm.
And have these, like we said today, options for um, possibilities
Right.
and connection to my own family, but not by force, by pure joy only would be what I would want. But to be able to be that joy within my own self, that I could be on the side of the road and feel the joy that I would if I were in my family. It's all something that I ponder these days, and it's beautiful.
Mm.
How about you?
I just want to see you and my parents happy. Honestly, that's my thoughts on aging right now.
Oh,
If
yes.
you guys are happy, I feel life is fine. My aging is also fine if they are happy. I don't have to worry about my aging. As on now is how like mm, I would like to go to gym more often so that my muscle mass don't reduce. That's my idea on aging right now.
Yes. And I do feel like this chapter, all I want to do is pour into you and
Mhm.
Adam as a couple and Priscilla and Jim's kids, because yeah, I want to pass on everything that we've accumulated also, because to me it's one. It is oneness and family, and but yeah, finding the most graceful way to share life so
Mm.
everyone's happy.
Yeah. So with
I'm so
this, we have
grateful.
come to the end of our talk today. And thank you so much for everyone who tuned in with us. And let us know in comments how you feel about aging and which part of the world are you joining us from. And we'll catch you in some other chat. Bye for now.
Yes.